As Sergeant White said, my name is Senior Trooper Logan L. Cox with West Virginia State Police in Nicholas County. Today I just want to go over the events that occurred this past Sunday. The first initial call that we received through Nicholas County EOC was a call for a reckless driver that was a silver collared car. Myself and other law enforcement officers were en route to that call when we received the second call at approximately 18:39 for a crash that occurred involving this same vehicle. When on this crash scene, the driver of that vehicle then stole a truck and began traveling toward Craigsville, where he went to a residence and began attacking a female with a hammer. Once he left that scene, he had the stolen vehicle. He went back towards Summersville and crashed into another vehicle, leading to the death of an individual, Brody Hanna of Nicholas County. On that scene, the individual then stole a Summersville Police Department cruiser and began traveling back toward Craigsville, where he was spiked by law enforcement, and shortly thereafter he was brought to a halt. That's basically the gist of it. Like I said, like Sergeant White said, we had 5 active crime scenes in approximately 30 minutes. So I'll take any questions if you all have them.
Can you just speak to just the chaos of that evening, what that was like responding to that many scenes at once?
Yeah, it was complete chaos. Like I said, we had 5 different scenes at the time, and we didn't know the details of each scene. We didn't know the details about the hammer or anything at that point. It was not related to me. So we knew that we had 1 person dead, another critically injured. So it was very chaotic. Yes, ma'am.
Did the suspect know the woman that he attacked?
He did. Yeah.
What was their relationship?
So through the information that we gathered, just by speaking to witnesses, we gathered that they were associates, and that's really all I can comment on that.
And what about were there drugs involved? Was it alcohol?
Through the investigation, we did learn that it was related to drugs, but again, I can't comment too much on that due to the pending investigation.
What is her current condition right now?
She's critical, in critical condition. She is in a hospital seeking treatment.
What kind of injuries she suffered?
She did have some injuries to her face area from the hammer, and again, I wish I could answer it a little better for you, but that's all I can comment on that at this time.
As far as the Summersville police cruiser, how was that kind of taken over?
So when we first received the call that he had stole the truck on scene of the initial accident, they responded to assist us with the stolen vehicle. As they were responding, that's when they come in contact with the second crash scene where he had killed the individual. So they were assisting us, and at that point, that's when he stole the cruiser and began traveling toward Craigsville.
Were the keys inside, or did he get the keys from someone? How did that
No, the cruiser was running. He did not get the keys, just the cruiser, it was already running.
And that initial stolen vehicle, was that sort of a carjacking type of situation there?
It was just a concerned citizen who had stopped to help him to see if he was all right, and he had got out of his vehicle to help him. And when he was out of the vehicle, that's when Young got in his truck and then began traveling toward Craigsville.
When he said he was going back to Craigsville before he was arrested, did you know where he was going? Was he returning to the house that he was at, where the woman suffered injuries?
I can't say what his intentions were, but that's the direction he was traveling toward Craigsville.
What was his demeanor when you apprehended him? You're the one who apprehended him, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you just tell us what that was like?
He wasn't saying much. There was a lot of stress involved in the incident. We really didn't conversate much.
Any other injuries of the different crashes, minor or anything like that?
No, ma'am.
And just, if you wouldn't mind maybe speaking to the heaviness of losing a fellow, first responder in this.
Yeah, I mean, it's absolutely terrible. Those are the type of scenes that he responds to help, and he was just doing his personal stuff that day and lost his life. So yeah, it's terrible.
And he was off duty at the time, is that correct?
He was.
Will that play into his charges at all, or will it be treated as if he, because it was a honor that you were treated as if he was on?
No, that will not play into his charges due to him being on the fire department.
Looking back at this, is there anything you guys feel like you could have done differently to maybe prevented it from escalating to the point, or was it just, the events that happened were kind of unpredictable?
Yeah, absolutely. The events were just unpredictable, and like I said, we had a lot going on in a short amount of time, and I think it played out the way it played out. It was a tragedy that we lost one good person, but there could have been a lot more if it didn't pan out the way that it did.
What was the damage to the Summersville police cruiser?
I didn't look at the cruiser after he had.
Was it spiked?
Yes, it was spiked. A member of the Nicholas County Sheriff's Office did spike the cruiser, so the tires were flat on it. But I don't know the complete damages to the cruiser.
Were there any witnesses to the hammer incident? How was that all discovered?
Yeah, there were a couple witnesses there that witnessed everything, so we spoke to them. But again, I can't really comment on that too much due to the pending investigation.
Can you talk about when everyone started to piece together that this was the same person you were dealing with at the various crime scenes?
Yeah, well, due to how fast it did transpire, we had an idea this was the guy. He had stole a gray collared Ford F-150, and then the calls that we continued to get were consistent with that vehicle. So it was pretty apparent that was the guy that we were looking for.
You said that you had 5 different calls. How long in that time span did the calls come from the first to the last one?
Approximately 30 minutes.
5 calls in 30 minutes?
Yes, sir.
As far as the hammer, did he have it with him, or was that something he got from the residents?
Through the investigation, we learned that the hammer was in the vehicle. Yeah. The stolen vehicle. Yeah.
Did you get any sort of indication that this was planned out or sort of a spur of the moment thing for the?
Okay.
We can't answer that, man. We have to keep the integrity in the case. I'm sorry.
So did he resist after the cruiser was spiked, or was he pretty much conceding that?
He failed to obey all the commands that we gave him, so I would say yes, he resisted, but we did take him into custody without further incident.
Do you know the motivation for the attack with the hammer?
Again, that goes back to the motive. We can't answer that. We do have a general idea, but I'm sorry, this is still an active case. We can't answer that for you at this time.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Appreciate y'all coming.
Guys, if I could, before we end this press conference, some of the questions that you had, ma'am, on the Summersville police officer, I'd like to add, as you well know, Nicholas County is a very rural community. So when a situation happens in our county, we have an unbelievable working relationship with the other police agencies in our county. I would really like to thank the members of the Webster County Sheriff's Department that responded, Nicholas County Sheriff's Department, Summersville PD, all of our first responders, be the fire department, be our record drivers, be the ambulance personnel, and last but not least, the citizens of Nicholas County. We again had 5 crime scenes, one of which led us to shut down Route 41, which is a major route inside Nicholas County. We had several detours. The citizens of Nicholas County is a big supporter of law enforcement. They always have been, and I hope we keep that relationship. What Trooper Cox spoke on the 5 scenes within 30 minutes, that's a lot. You divide your assets to those scenes and you process them. Again, as I started this press conference, that is the delay in speaking with you folks prior to this. We have an unbelievably amount of large information that we are still processing, and we will update you as best we can. Do you guys have any further questions?
How was kind of communication that night between all the different agencies and the 911 center, I'm sure? Just the different-
Absolutely great. The 911 director for Nicholas County is John McGinnis. He's exceptional. The 911 operators, everybody that was working there, they suffer through this too. I think the public sometimes forgets that they are the face behind us. They hear this stuff. They know how bad these situations are getting, and they're sending us to those. And we're friends with every one of them. I mean, we eat with them, we talk with them, we know each other's families. Without them coordinating it and keeping us informed, it's hard to do our job as effectively as we do. If I forgot to mention them in my thank you, then I apologize for that. Absolutely, they did an outstanding job. Any further questions?
Just for Bradley's back in the newsroom, could we get both of you just saying it's your first and last names, please?
Yes, I'm Sergeant White. I'm the detachment commander. He is Senior Trooper Logan Cox. He works out of the Richwood office.
Should we spell it as well?
I'm sorry?
Spelling as well?
Yes, my last name is W-H-I-T-E. His is C-O-X. Thank you all.
One more question.
Yes, sir.
Was there any type of pursuit prior to the spiking?
No, sir. This event started with Trooper Cox. The first crash came in. It was a suspect. Like he said, it was single vehicle. Then he stole the truck, and we start getting everybody responding that way. But no, sir, he made it to the house, just as he has told you. He did that crime. Then he's coming back. He has the crash, steals the police car. And I would like to speak on that. The Summersville City police officer, man, when he arrived on scene, he did what any good police officer should do. He assessed that situation as fast as he could. He saw the obvious injuries to Mr. Hanna, and he immediately went to his assistance to render aid. The fact that this suspect took that advantage and took that opportunity to steal his car just shows how evil he was. He was going to do whatever he could to do what he was going to do, including escape. Wouldn't have mattered if it would have been my police cruiser, any of these gentlemen, or your personal vehicle. If he was out of it and he could get to it, he was going to get to it. The scary part of that is we have to respond to that. If he steals a regular vehicle, we know that that is a crime in progress. But when you steal a police cruiser, you have access to our weapons. And we have got to stop that, which led to it being spiked. Any other questions? I thank you guys for coming and talk to us. I thank you even more for being kind enough to give us an opportunity to get this kind of together to do this press conference.
Thank you for the time.
Thank you.